The world of Formula One is evolving, and the numbers, they back it up. The 2025 Global Fan Survey conducted by Formula One and Motorsport Network reveals a sport that is in transformation, powered by U.S. fans, women, and Gen Zers. Joining me now is Werner Brell, the CEO of Motorsport Network, to talk about what these survey results mean, why America matters more than ever to F1's future, and what to expect as the business of motorsport goes big in the Big Apple. Werner joins us now. Werner, how you doing, man?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, Dexter.
Oh, no, pleasure to have you here. So much good stuff to talk about around motorsports and F1. And Werner, I'll start with this. The 2025 Global Fan Survey that I just talked about shows explosive growth among U.S. audiences, Gen Z, and women. What do you believe is driving this diversification of F1's fan base?
Dexter, I have to say that the survey findings really provide a real-time snapshot of modern fandom within Formula One. We had over 100,000 respondents in over 186 countries, I believe. And these are all opt-in, highly engaged fans, with 27% of the respondents following Formula One for at least 5 years or less. And the US had the largest country share of the survey respondents. So it's really happy we're having these conversations today here in New York City. And what's even more interesting is that 40% of US respondents follow a driver first, which is a departure from legacy, largely European fans. So it's just about growth. It's about a new type of fandom revealing itself in the US. And also, fans are getting younger. 70% of Gen Z are attracted to F1 because of the image and the status F1 represents. It's intriguing because it hammers home something we have been following at Motorsport Network. Culture, obviously, race culture is the new type of entry point into this sport. And, the female fans now also represent 25% of surveyed respondents, which is more than doubling than when we did the survey in 2017. And most female respondents, are newer to the sport. They skew younger. Obviously, a lot of people say, well, they come in because of Drive to Survive. It's probably true. A lot of them come in getting exposed through social media and exposure through entertainment. But they are really becoming true fans of the sport itself. And the data shows that at the end of the day, the thrill of the race makes them convert, and that's where they stick with it.
Yeah, it's exciting times. And listen, however you get to F1, whether it was through Drive to Survive or other ways, F1 movie, which we'll talk about in a second, it's all interesting. And you mentioned women here, and the survey reveals that 3 out of 4 new fans this year are women. From your perspective, what needs to happen to build long-term loyalty among female fans in F1?
So first, I would like to call out that I believe a fan is a fan, whether it's a woman or a man. And I think the survey also shows that. And at the end of the day, I think it's about the passion for all the various different elements of the sport. The fans are coming in, are passionate, they're getting knowledgeable quickly, and they're really emotionally invested in the stories. At the end of the day, F1 is drama. We as Motorsport Network, as well as the series, is in the drama business. There's so much going on the track, in the paddock, all these exciting stories that happen, and I do believe people will stay because of the stories that come out of the sport.
Yeah, stories are important. It drives a lot in sports, and you always need that. The data also shows, Werner, that many Gen Z fans are discovering F1 through social media and streaming. Do you see this as a permanent shift in how the sport builds its future audience?
One of the big things that obviously Liberty Media has done with the acquisition, after the acquisition of Formula One, is they've really opened up the floodgates and allowed everyone to be part of social media. That wasn't always the case before the Liberty takeover. And Gen Z is essentially, they're fundamentally digital first, they're fundamentally social media first. And this is how they engage with information, with sports, and with entertainment. In the survey, 70% of US Gen Z respondents engage with Formula One content daily. And 2/3 of all fans say they feel personally inspired by drivers or teams. And obviously, a lot of that is shown every day through countless posts on social media. So I do believe that will stick around, and because that's how people on the phone with social medias engage in sports and entertainment.
Yeah, it helps grow the sport, obviously, as well too. And look, we've seen this, Werner, from Vegas to Miami to Austin, Texas. U.S. Grand Prix stops have been massive business successes. So why do you think America is resonating so strongly with F1 right now?
I believe, America, like we're in the business of storytelling, particularly in the US. You have Hollywood. I know we'll talk about the movie, but America loves big stories. They love big personalities. They love big experiences, and F1 delivers on all accounts. The survey also shows the US now represents the largest country share of respondents. Fans in the US over-index in the digital engagement, merchandise purchases, and the future interest and intent to attend races. And I think that's a really big one. 73% of respondents plan to go to a US Grand Prix. We are the one market that has the most races in one single market with 3 races. And I think, that really truly adds why F1 sees that rise and also the commercial success in this market.
Yeah, no, it's been growing fast in the United States. It's very impressive. And you just mentioned it. There's a lot of buzz around that new Brad Pitt F1 movie. A lot of people talking about this. How important is Hollywood in boosting the mainstream interest and pushing the sport into pop culture?
I think, anything Hollywood, when it includes Brad Pitt, I think this film transcends the sport to the mainstream. It will help bring people into the sport, make people interested. I think, lots of people go see a movie because of Brad Pitt, but I think the storyline, how the sport is depicted, and how it is introduced, I think that will definitely add to another huge surge of new fandom in the US, and I believe also really, really globally, and that this is something that is very unique in our space. And the box office results of this weekend obviously demonstrate and show how important that movie is, and how successful it's going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. I still have not seen it. I have to go see that. I want to check it out. My guy Damp's in interest in that as well too. And when you look at this surge in interest, especially among younger and more diverse fans, Werner, do you believe that F1 can truly become a major sport in the United States, let's say in the next 5 years?
Absolutely. I think the US is no longer a nascent market. I think the opportunity in this place is huge. Everybody sees it from sponsors that come in. I really believe that F1 is becoming one of those big, growth engines in the sports community in this marketplace. What gives me really confidence is kind of the depth of the commitment we are seeing. I'm back to this fan survey among surveyed fans. 94% say they intend to follow F1 5 years from now. That's not just a casual fan. That's really, loyalty, and they want to stick with it. Also fans are younger, digitally affluent, emotionally invested, and 73% plan to attend a race. I mentioned that before, and I think that is a really big stat and an important stat, that people want to go to a race and experience, everything that makes up the culture around the race weekend. And 70% of Gen Zers engage with F1 on a daily basis through social media. And those are, I believe, the real big building blocks of making a sport to a major sport in this marketplace.
Yeah, I would agree with that, right? Because it's one thing to see younger people engage with the sport on social media, and it's another thing to have that data to say, hey, they actually want to go to a race and see it and experience the culture around motorsports, particularly F1 here. And I want to talk to you about this because that all impacts the business, and the Autosport Business Exchange is coming to New York this fall, headlined by Total Wolf. Why was now the right time to bring this global platform to the U.S. and specifically to NYC?
The US has become one of the centers of commercial opportunity in motorsport. If you look at new sponsors coming in, new investors coming in, technology partners that are eager to be part of the Formula One growth. And New York, New York is the global crossroads of business, finance, and media, and obviously culture. It's where deals get done, where conversations shape the future, and Autosport Business Exchange is all about that. It's about shaping conversations. It's about providing a platform to sponsors, investors, and people within the industry to really forge connections and progress the sport. And really, most influential voices in motorsport will be around for Autosport Business Exchange in New York in October, and we are really excited to hosting it here. And it's the Big Apple. It's New York City.
Hey, it's going to be a good event. That one going down in October. Werner, last thing for me, I guess as you look ahead, right, to the next 4 years, which will be the next time you do a fan survey again, that'll happen 4 years from now. What do you see as the most exciting opportunities and also challenges for F1's global future?
I think, obviously for Motorsport Network, but clearly F1, it's all about evolution and deepening connections with fans. We always have to be where they are and provide the right storylines and deliver it to them in ways that really engages them on a continuous basis. And the biggest opportunities lie in the US, and with the opportunity to engage younger and female fans on that basis. I think this is going to be a continuous thread over the next 4 years. Also, I believe I think excited for Cadillac securing the coveted spot on the grid, and numerous other brands entering the sport from a commercial perspective will drive a lot of momentum around F1. And so there are lots more stories to tell. Obviously, if you ask me, I think it would be great if, from a talent development perspective, we'll gonna see a US driver again on the grid at some point soon. I think that would help the sport tremendously. I also believe that, with F1 Academy, it provides great breeding ground for additional storytelling, for additional innovation within the sport. Seeing more female people in technologists, race strategists in the paddock and the pit wall. And hopefully at some point soon, F1's Academy vision of having a female driver on the grid would obviously also be tremendous. So.
Yeah, a lot of opportunity for F1. The growth has been amazing. There's so much more opportunity for the sport to grow. And you've seen the numbers, how it's growing rapidly here in the United States. That is Werner Brell. He is the CEO of Motorsport Network. Check him out there. Look, Werner, I'll say this before we go. It is time for me to get to a race. I have not been to a race yet. I have to be around it. I got to experience it as well, too. So hopefully I will see you at a race soon. Appreciate you, man.
Well, thank you so much. Hopefully, I see you at Autosport Business Exchange in New York in October, and go watch that movie.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. I got to check that out too. Thank you, Warren. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay. Bye.